So we are back here live from Shirahama Beach. My name is Jonathan Santos.
And I'm Alec Tucker.
And we are witnessing the next few games here in Field 4, Showcase Field, between Japan, Swampybarg, and Singapore Women's Nationals team. Now, Japan, Swampybarg is the #1 seed, but surprisingly, they got beat by their counterpart, the second Japan team, Darumasan, yesterday. So they are looking to see if they can rebound and get their third win.
Singapore here, starting on O. Some quick movement, getting them started.
And this with the disc is Fu, who's one of their leading players for the team, number 28. We'll see if he's going to continue that same effort. She has the disc right now. Quick movements. I haven't seen her quick one fast run so far, and Singapore win, punches their first score.
Love to see that from a first point O. Nice and calm the whole way, getting their best player involved. And they are loud on the sideline as well, pumping up their team.
And that's a great start if you're Singapore. And that's a great start if you're Singapore, not seeing that other players making the play rather than Seaman Megan Fu, who's been the leading stat player so far.
This is going to be Japan's first time on offense here. Let's see how they respond.
Japan players being led by number 5, Minori Yahata, who all throughout the tournament has 5 assists and 7 goals. So well-rounded player. And also being led by number 81, Asuka Morioka. And let's see their first start as the O-line, almost a D by number 9 Singapore, the Maroons. But Japan with sticky hands, moving it from side to side. Oh, passes a little high and unable to bring it in. Singapore with a chance to take a 2-0 lead.
Number 5 for Japan, just unable to quickly read that one. Unfortunate, just over her head.
Oh, great marking from number 14, Haruma, forcing that turnover. And they have a chance to tie this game. '81 shoots it. What a grab for Japan. Ties the game at 1.
Great bid to secure that point for Japan. And you just can't give the O-line second chances.
As we look here at the replay, a streaking pass to secure their first point. We haven't seen a lot of defense yet early, as 2 quick points from both teams. So interesting to see when that's going to come out for either teams.
This Singapore O-line has been pretty lethal throughout the tournament so far. Let's see if they can keep it clean.
And here,
Again, that quick movement out of the vertical stack. And 28 just being that security blanket. There's a dump if they need it.
And looks like that's a good strategy from Singapore as they punch in their second score. And looks like that's a strategy, a conscious effort from Singapore to let the other players make plays. And to your point, number 28, Fu, just being a security blanket, just in case they're unable to move the disc forward.
And just not much resistance there from the Japan D-line. They're going to have to step it up if they want this win.
For Singapore, apart from Seaman Megan Fo, we definitely see number 87, Clara Chow, who's got 5 assists and 5 goals as well. So we'll stay in touch with those players. But also an exciting match we have here. If both teams are fast-paced. So I think I'm going to be a broken sync, so to speak, but it's all about the defense now for this game as well for both teams.
And looking at the sideline, I'm noticing kind of a shorter lineup for this Japan team. It seems like only 9 players on the line. So can their resiliency, can their effort and conditioning take them all the way here?
Stall count is rising for Japan, but able to swing it to the middle. Oh, leaping catch by number 21, Uesada. Keep that play alive. Oh, look, great defense from Singapore, forcing them to go behind, but just when I said that, quickly darts it to the middle of the field. Oh, great catch by number 5, Yahata. Yahata looking to the other side of the field, opens up the play for Japan.
And the Singapore D-line has been doing this a lot. You're seeing them force middle here. This type of defense is becoming a lot more popular in Ultimate recently. Singapore trying to execute this well, but Japan able to break it, gets the score.
You can see the well, from my point of view, the Singapore players looking gassed from that point, trying to be right behind the Japanese players.
Doing a forced middle definitely can exhaust your defense, as you're going to work hard to seal those arounds and force them to throw it into the middle of the field. But the goal is that hopefully you're also making the offense work and not letting them get too comfortable, which I think, as I said before, since this is a smaller Japan roster, this could be a really good strategy for Singapore. Tire out the O-line, force them to make mistakes later in the game.
That's surprising to see him having a shorter line compared from yesterday for Japan. So, not sure if some players are just just unavailable for today's Day 2 games. So interesting to see how this goes. And look from the defense from Japan. It's a little bit of a junk defense in the middle, forcing the swings or forcing the shorter dump pass instead. But just when I say that, cheeky backhand pass, and they're off the races for Singapore now, near their end zone. Oh, quick plays. Number 16's got the disc. Gives it back to 28 Foe, pointing it to the other side. He's looking. She's looking at the break side. Opts to dump it, gets it back. Foe, looking. Japan really junking that forward pass, forcing the dump.
You can hear the Singapore coach screaming, four handlers, four handlers. Wants to drop more people back to try to break this zone look from Japan.
And looks like we're able to do so. It's a diving catch. Gives Singapore their third point.
Love the effort from the Japan D-line there. They had the zone. They didn't come out of it when they got close to the end zone, and I think that worked to their advantage, right? Zones are better when the area is smaller. So credit to Japan for sticking with their zone as they got close to the end zone. Definitely made Singapore work a little bit harder for that point.
Probably it's a strategy from from Japan's D-line, given that they're a short line. You can see those people in the middle not really exerting much effort, just really guarding the space. So maybe it's a strategy they're trying to put, given they have a short line. It's a long game today, trying to conserve some energy.
Quick points here. Almost 10 minutes into the game. The score already 3-2 in favor of Singapore. Japan now quickly up the field.
Oh, great pass. Number 81 able to secure that. Morioka. Great pass to number 5, Yahata. Yahata looking downfield. At the edge, great diving catch from Japan. Are they able to secure it? No, they are not. Stock count is rising, able to dump it back. Right in the middle, looking. Trying to see, great defense from Singapore. Not that get that easy point, but Japan punches it through. Ties the game at 3.
Just like the Japanese men team, the women's team, excellent job at using pump fakes to their advantage. They're knowing how to shift the mark. Look at that, a great fake. Forces the mark to adjust, and now an easy upline throw to the end zone.
See, we've already spent 10 minutes in the game, but I just feel it's much longer. Just the amount of passes that both teams have to make just to bring it back to bring it down to their end zone and get a score. So I'm just a little bit worried from Japan's team in terms of how can they sustain this all throughout the game. Singapore's got a much deeper team, as you can see here. I'm looking at probably around 12 to 14 players in present for day 2. Disco start with Fo, passes to number 18. Oh, it looks like a miscom, or the pass was just a little too high there, Tuck.
Unfortunate error as the cut was just wide open, but just too high. And now Japan, huge opportunity for a break.
And one player going deep, but looks like Japan opts to swing it to number 13. That's Iwoka. Iwoka passes to her teammate near the end zone. This is going to be huge for Japan. Looking nice, diving catch. Oh, I thought she was going to throw that pass. Backhand is no good. Credit to the defense by number 16, CC Ong, for the Maroons.
Japan so close there. And they had some really good flow to get it close to the doorstep and then just kind of force that throw at the end there.
I just feel rather that was very uncharacteristic from Japan, being a little bit impatient there, especially on the red zone.
This is something I've noticed a lot from the Singapore team. One handler, they're going to cut from the vert stack, and number 28 is going to come down. Yep, they've been doing that all tournament long. So they kind of isolate 87 and bring her up line, and then 28 fills behind. Anytime there's a dead disc, they're setting up in a vertical stack like that.
Number 31 fakes it, gives it back to Fo here. Fo looking, swings it to number 87. That's Chow. Chow, great communication between the Japanese players in terms of what type of force, really. Fo. Stokout is rising, cheeky, pass is too high, but able to grab it. Number 16 is, passes to Fo. Fo at the other side of the field, looking downfield, and it's going to be an easy score. Singapore with the 4th point.
I'm very curious about the coaching behind keeping number 28 so far back and really just using her as a security blanket, as a dump. You can see her pushing it up there and getting the assist, but usually she's just behind the other handler, waiting for an engage to make her move.
And if I'm Singapore, that's going to be a great... I would like that type of strategy where you make the other players really build that confidence, because this is going to be a long term. We still have 4 days left, so being able to build the confidence for the rest of the players is going to work wonders for a team that's trying to bid for a gold or at least a podium finish in the women's division.
And speaking with the Singapore coaches, they have done an amazing job with the national program, really focusing their top talent on national teams rather than club teams. So this team has been training together for 4 months, and their cohesiveness is clear.
Oh, great grab to keep the disc alive, the play alive for Japan. Just when you thought that was going to be a turnover, Japan able to get it, swing it, pass it to the end zone for the 4th score.
Quick score there from Japan, putting the pressure on Singapore, who had a bit of a longer O point in their last go. Now they're right back on the field. This is an opportunity for the Japan D-line to try to take advantage.
As you look at the replay, punches it through to get the 4th point, and just putting things into perspective, Doc, it's just extremely nice to see how the women's sport in Ultimate is steadily, progressively growing through the years. We're seeing a lot of more great players and great teams really building out the program. So it's just exciting to see that. Knowing from you, as you are the coach for the Binibinis team, you'd be happy to see this type of play from our women's team.
Absolutely, and it's great that we have 9 different teams representing the women's division. Korea's first time at the Asia Oceanic Beach Ultimate Championship, so we hope that it can continue to grow and that more nations will just keep on joining, keep on progressing.
And just as I say progressing, Singapore able to progress the disc for their 5th point. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
That was some great movement from Singapore, slicing up the field, upline after upline.
Nothing. Again, Japan's defense not putting too much pressure for Singapore. But if I'm Japan, I'm just happy to be in striking distance within this game and see when it approaches either point cap or time cap, that's where they dig deep to get that defensive play. So probably that's what they're doing right now. Game of conservation, so to speak.
It's a very good point. The Japan national teams always display such patience, such calmness throughout the game. So just sticking close when they can strike and make their move.
Pull is off. It's going to be at the end zone. Great catch there on the pull. I've never been comfortable catching pulls, so that is just amazing presence of mind from Japan to catch that pull. Initiate play. And just looking at Singapore, looks like they're doing a zone defense of their own, Top.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a junk look, which works out for them. 22, sticking her arm straight up and getting the D.
And that's the first time we've seen Manny come into play, and she made an excellent play to put her mark in this game.
As you said, switching up to that junky zone look definitely put a little bit of confusion on Japan. That's why you got to have those things in your back pocket when you're the D-line.
And that's going to be exciting for players like Ragavi Manny. Her first point being able to make a mark, so that's going to work well for her and for this team, giving her that confidence. But Japan forcing Singapore backwards. Not a lot of cutter movements from Singapore. And that's credit to the own junk defense from Japan. Almost a bid from Manny, but just too far from her fingers and hands to make a play there.
Super good defense from Japan. Not allowing Singapore to get the easy break, even though it was a third of the way towards the end zone, 2/3 of the way towards the end zone.
Somaya passes to number 1, Sekiguchi. Sekiguchi to Semaya. 2 players, quick pass to number 5, Yahata. Yahata to number 9, Matsumoto. Oh, backhand pass is cash money. Ties the game at 5.
Once again, it's that second chance from Japan that allows them to keep this game tied. Singapore now with 2 break chances, but no break scores.
But still, regardless if Singapore, even though Singapore rather wasn't able to get that turn or get that point, that's going to be, if I'm the defense line, that's still a good win for me as well. Just being able to generate that turnover and have a chance to get a score near their end zone.
And you also have the Japan O-line thinking about that zone. Are they going to come out in the zone? Are they going to come out in the man? So you get their offense off of their game. As you said, a good win for the defense, even though they didn't get that break.
A great leaping bid by Manny earlier from that play. We're happy to see her make a bookends on that play. It would be such a thrill for her and for her teammates to be able to get that bookend score. But nonetheless, we're still here, tied 5-all. We haven't approached the 30-minute mark, but I just feel it's been longer than just 20 minutes left. 20 minutes have elapsed in this game. So Fo, looks like she will start play on the break mark. Just looking at the defense from Japan, seeing what they're going to throw, but looks like it's going to be a strict man-to-man right now. Oh, cheeky pass. Oh, Fo, not afraid to throw those passes. It looks like she has a more active play here than usual. Looks like a change of pace for Singapore. Oh, threads the needle there. And they're near their end zone. Singapore is. Fo looking. He's looking for initiator handlers. Upline cut is denied, but a lateral cut from Singapore. Able to keep that play alive. Thumps it back and gets it back on the lateral cut. And punches it through. Singapore with a 6-point on this game.
If you have been watching Singapore on the international circuit, whether that's U24 Worlds, whether that's AOUGC, or here now at the Asia Beach Ultimate Championships, their handler movement is the core of their offense. They are working it with the handlers so well and so effectively. That's actually their first look, not necessarily downfield towards the cutters, but actually short, quick passes, weaving in and out between the handlers.
It looks like it's going to be a game of attrition for both teams. It looks like just each team, regardless, they just want to be within striking distance. It all boiled down to the final minute and final point. Because we've seen all the adjustments and they're both working on both, so it's just really a game of attrition right now. Almost thought that pass was a little bit wide out, but 16 able to catch it. Oh, great pass and great grab by number 3, Yoshida. Oh, great defense from Singapore. Forces that stall count is rising, but looks like a foul is called.
Also felt as though there could have been some disc space called on the mark there as they were closing in as the stall count was rising. But credit to the Singapore defense for really trying to clamp down and put on the pressure. This is actually the first call of the game. And as you see, we do have some game advisors allowing to give their perspective and help the players referee this game.
Just looking from a replay, it's quite tight, but I definitely would see, looks like number 16, Somea, got hit on the arm there. That caused that disc to fumble through her hands, and that's what's in question. Apart from the game advisors, we have another player from the Japanese team coming in to provide translation, so to speak. Usually in the game of Ultimate, it's just between 2 players that they will discuss on that call with the game advisors for this type of event. But for Japan's sake, they have another player there for translation.
And this is one of the great parts about international competition. Getting to meet people, getting to compete with people from other countries, getting to represent your country gives you that little bit of extra pride, that extra oomph that you need in the competition. And then this is one of just the joys of competing at such a high level and an international level.
Inf indeed, Tucker. Inf indeed. And looks like a spirit conversation where Japan rescinded the call. Great spirit conversation between two nations. Looks like the contact was marginal. Forced turnover. So Singapore here, a chance to increase their lead to 2. This is going to be great for them to convert this turnover. 25. That's Chua. Got the disc. Great backhand pass at the edge of the end zone. Chen Chua punch it in and gets it to go for Singapore. Increases the lead to 2.
Finally, a break in this game after 3 chances. Singapore punches one in. And I think we're starting to see this Japan team just a little bit tired, as they weren't quite chasing after that disc as they were in the beginning of the game. Great break throw to set that up, and then nice confidence to shoot it to their player with the layout try.
Singapore here, 7 point. Are we going to see if Singapore is going to pull away from this game, or can we see Japan tough it out and make a comeback of their own? If there's one thing I'm never going to do, I'm never going to count out the Japanese team for sure. Never going to count them out.
And Singapore definitely came to this tournament with something to prove. As I said, they've been training for months, focusing on their national program, trying to take down the #1 seeded Japan here.
And just looking at the stats for Singapore, looks like it's Nguyen Pin Ning who's leading the scoring goals in this tournament, having already 3 goals for Singapore. And on the other side for Japan, it's a mix of all players giving the scoring points for Japan. So we're up here. Looks like on the second half already this game as we approach. With Singapore 7 point and Singapore back to their zone defense again. Oh, great bid from Singapore, but looks like a strip is being called.
Yeah, and that zone defense just causing some fits for this Japanese O-line. It's the second time they throw out that zone, and it ended up in a D or some kind of hit disc from the defense.
Look at the replay just to see how much it's a bang play there. Can't say that it's definite, but I'm going to incline a little bit that maybe Singapore number 17 player Alicia Tan was right there to make that bid. So, but again, these bang plays is the reason why they have a discussion, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back to Japanese thrower.
Kind of looks like the conversation is around, did she stop rotation of the disc, right? In a strip call, the offender should have possession, should have stopped rotation before the defender hit it out of their hands. So it seems like that is the conversation, whether she really stopped the rotation or, as you said, if number 17 made that athletic bid at just the right time to poke it out.
And those are those bang plays that are such difficult to, it's such difficult to be able to get a really resounding resolution to say that it's either or. So it looks like a whistle from the game advisor signaling about usually calls should only come or discuss within 45 to 60 seconds. Could be longer depending on the situation, as you can see here. That is the third whistle from the game advisor. Looks like signaling that they should have a resolution quickly, and looks like, as I mentioned, it's going back to the Japanese player. Sumaya looking. Oh, so all about it. She was open, but opts to swing it to the other side to Yoseda. Not sure why they're not seeing it back to Kozomi. He's quite open there. This is not good for Japan. Not having a handler. Great grab from 81 Morioka to number 1 Sekiguchi. Sekiguchi here engages with the handler. Stockout is rising, but able to swing it to the middle. Oh, diving catch to keep that play alive. Great athleticism from Morioka. Morioka looking, passes it. Little fly. The bid from Singapore is no good. She's open right now to make a pass and gets it to go. Six point for Japan, Swampybarg.
Again, that zone from Singapore causing some fits, making Japan think. And I think Singapore just got a little over-aggressive there on the end zone line. That bid just allowed the thrower to have an easy pass to the end zone.
Again, Japan within striking this, but they got to convert this one just to make it a little easier for them coming at the end of this game. We're already around 31 minutes in this game, so still a lot of ultimate left to be played.
And the Singapore O-line has just been so efficient. So it's up to the Japan D-line to really tighten up. They need a break to tie this one up. Currently Singapore leading 7-6.
So I'm not sure if I'm Japan, if I really want to say, if I'm Japan, I'm thinking if they want to like put a hard mark on number 28 Foe so that they can stop the offense, but looks like they're just settling to a man-to-man defense. And here Foe going back to that security blanket position, so to speak, letting the other players from the Singapore team make plays.
Yeah, but as you said, you know, from the defensive perspective, my strategy would be to be much tighter on 28. You can't just let her hang out in the back and get these easy swings. If she's the focal point of their offense, you have to be tight on her and make her move.
Oh, but quick. Singapore making it quick and removing all the defensive efforts from Japan. And they scored their 8th point.
As we said, this Singapore O-line, very efficient. Such confidence in the handlers, very confident in their throws, and a nice patience by the cutters, letting the handlers do their thing and exploding when they have the chance to score. 8-6 now from Singapore.
So I'm just looking at the roster. Definitely they have a, I thought it was just for today, but just checking the roster of the Japan team, it's gonna be a short lineup all throughout the tournament. So maybe one of the reasons for the tightly contested lost games they've had throughout the tournament. So we'll see how this plays out. Nice pull. Oh, that's a courageous catch for the pull from 21, Oseda. Oseda looking, swings it to Somaya. So these two players have been the main handler duties. And look, as you mentioned, looks like a tight marking from Singapore that's being called, or a wrapping infraction, so to speak. Oh, 16.
Oh, what a cut. Beautiful cut from 16, absolutely schooling her defender, getting it into the open space.
This is Yoshida looking, 21, but Yoshida hawks it. Is it good? Cash money for Morioka for the score. And I hope nothing too serious, but at least she's able to get that score. I'm not.
Just absolutely going all out for that point. Look at this, turning her hips, getting it into the open space. Beautiful throw, and what a layout. What a grab, catching it right before it hits the sand.
And I hope nothing too serious as Morioka is still on the ground, or on the sand rather. Hoping nothing too serious because they already are short line, so to speak. So having her not being able to return is not going to be favorable for Japan. But first and foremost, hopefully no injuries, because we definitely hope that all players, athletes come out of this as safely as possible.
Singapore's sideline has been very loud. Let's see if their energy can take them to the end here. As this pull, a bit short. Singapore trying to use it to their advantage.
Here we go, it's short pull here. A low pass, but able to be catched by 87. Go to the next medal, and Fo gets the disc back. And opts to dump it to her teammate number 16. 16 looking. Fo, oh, great marking, but oh, zigzag move by Fo, being able to get that pass and sends it to Singapore player 32. And that was Gwyn Ping Ling again, leading scorer in this game for Singapore.
As you said, number 28 with a great cut, putting her defender on the seesaw. Had to choose one side and just gave the open space, allowing for the easy dump.
And I thought it was good marking at one point because Fo had troubles trying to get to this, but great 1-2 step, a zigzag move to get herself free.
And you can see that's why they like putting her kind of directly behind the handler. The defender has a hard time choosing whether to force her to the break side or kind of give that open space.
And that's always the trouble. If you're face guarding a handler, is that you let the other player with the disc choose which side. That's usually the case in all of the teams in the sport. Here we go for Japan. Japan looking. Looks like they're sagging down a little bit, forcing the swings, but now they switch back to a man-to-man defense. A lot of switching, and a hawk here is just too strong. Credit to Singapore's defense, forcing Japan again on an uncharacteristic throw.
Japan has just not figured out this zone defense. I believe that's number 72, really putting in the work for Singapore, pushing herself to get to the mark every time. And as we called her out before, number 22, doing a great job of kind of poaching the lane on these swings. There was a person open, but they just pushed it a little too far.
And hearing from the coach of Singapore, take your time on each pass. Definitely agree that. Oh, low pass, but able to track it down. Singapore hawks it, and this is Manny able to get it at the edge of the end zone. Great switch for Japanese player, but Manny able to get that score. Increases the lead to 3.
And everybody coming to hug her as that is her first goal of the tournament. What a play from her just to get all the way down the field and look for that deep throw. Great contributions from everyone on the Singapore team. Everybody putting in the work to increase this lead to 3.
And see, look, the replay of a beautifully put forehand pass to Manny. Number 5 Japan player tried her all to do a switch, but again, looks like Singapore women's team trying to pull out much forward, increasing their lead.
And it's this part of the game where the numbers come into play. Having 15 people versus having 9 people. makes such a huge difference, especially on the sand.
I'm getting a last song syndrome of likes from Singapore's cheer there. Very catchy, so to speak. Definitely want to have a chat with some of the players trying to understand that cheer, but great cheer for the sideline.
I am so curious who is going to win the Spirit Award for the women's division. Korea with great cheers and energy all throughout. Japan with amazing cheers and energy all throughout their games. Of course, you can't count out Australia either. So it's going to be a battle not only for the gold, but for the Spirit Award as well.
It's great that you brought that up. As important as the win, it's really about important of the spirit of the game, about ultimate. Oh, 81 thought about that. Oh, grab! What a layout catch by number 14, Haruma. Haruma, and looks like 81, unable to get it. Great mark by number 5, Shirley Tan. Oh, that's a sorry one. After 14, Haruma with that layout to keep that disc alive for Japan. And this is not a good spot because Singapore is near their end zone to punch in another score. Oh, great grab by Shirley Tan. This is 25. I believe this is Chua. Chua dumps it back to Tan. Oh, miscom there between the Singaporean players. The Japanese players look so tired. I can see most of their heads are down. Oh, almost a bid by Tan again. Number 5, Japan, Hayahata, thought about it. Gives it, oh, just bobbles through her fingers. 81, Morioka is... looks like... oh, it looks like no call, but it looks like a timeout for Singapore. And it looks like it's a timely one as all the players having their hands on their knees, tired out from that point.
If you have never played competitive beach ultimate, I promise you, the energy it takes is much, much harder than grass. The girls displaying an incredible amount of effort here, especially from the D-line. Number 5 from Singapore just absolutely flying all over the place, trying to will her team to victory.
It's a timely timeout from Singapore. Trying to calm, it looks like the coach trying to calm their troops, trying to give them instructions. I've been hearing him on the sideline, just take their time on the passes, take time on decisions. You have 10 seconds holding the disc, so you got a lot. That sounds short, but in this sport, it's an eternity having 10 seconds to decide what you can do to make the right play.
Especially on the beach. You can easily find somebody within that time. It's just about making the smart decision, making the simple decision. So you're securing the disc every time. The less turnovers you have, the further your team is gonna go.
That's correct. As I mentioned, it's a game of attrition in this game of Beach Ultimate. We'll see how Swampybarg respond. The game advisors asking the Singapore teams to hurry up as they have a specific time to start play again. Handlers Chua, and I believe that's Lee. I could be wrong. Oh, great zigzag. Great move there by Chua. And this is number 5, Tan. Gives it back to Chua. Chua sends it to the end zone. Oh, just slips through her fingers. Number 7, but I am not sure if there's a foul there called.
I think the Singapore cutter just felt the presence of the D, tried to come in, as you see there. Maybe a little bit of contact. From my perspective, it seems that the disc is out of her hands at that time.
Before the contact was made, so I definitely understand that this could go back. This can go to the Japanese team
Curious if they're going to ask for the game advisor's perspective here, but as you saw, that throw just a little bit short, forcing the Singapore cutter to try to come in on it at the last second. So they had to adjust their movement, you know, almost causing that contact with the Japanese defender.
And this is going to be an important point for the Japan team. They definitely want to get this disc back and at least decrease the deficit to 2. If you're hearing those whistles, it's the whistles from the game advisor signaling the players that are in the call to be able to get a resolution, whether it's going to be, for this case, a turnover for Singapore or be a contested call and go back to Singapore. And from the looks of it, it's going to be a contested call. Interesting, to say the least. But I just felt that the disc was already out of the Singapore's player before the contact. But again, it's between those two players making the resolution. Be interesting to see what our viewers would say from the live stream.
Easily our longest point of the game here. Things getting tight towards the end of the game. And don't forget, after this, we have a mixed battle between the Philippines Pirates and the India national team. So stick around for that coming after this.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting game. Good that you brought that out. As one of the kings of Beach Ultimate in Asia against the number 2 seed India. And here you go, Chua, almost at the near the end zone, but... Oh yes, definitely feel that just having a discussion here, but 25 Chua's got the disc for sure. It's just a question if she was in the end zone when she made that leap and catch. So people in the chat are asking how long are the games. So it's a 60-minute, it's a 45-minute game. Thank you, Tucker, for correcting that. It's a 45-minute game with the half cap at 25. It's either that or it's a point cap of 13, whichever comes. But Singapore gets the point, their 11th point. So just confirming if this is game. It looks like Japan will still have a chance here. So we're just confirming. Tucker was able to confirm it. So it's a game to 12 now. So last point for Singapore. But
I have a feeling they're going to come in that zone look again. It's been very successful for them.
With the ball sails out of bounds, so probably Japan is going to start on the break mark.
Can't quite tell yet if that's more of a man look.
It looks like it's a man look so far, and yes, it is. They're going to stick to that man look. Interesting to see from Japan having the handler stuck in the end zone. It was a side stack to start with, and they're sticking to that. Oh, Japan with a good, Singapore with a great mark defense, but threading the needle, Japan is. Number 3 thought about it, but opts to dump back to number 14, Haruma. Haruma thought about it. Oh, she got me fake there, but number 3, Yoshida, gets the disc. Forward pass, oh, diving catch by number 16, Somea. Keep that disc alive. And number 13's got it here, Iwoka. Iwoka thinking, whoa, denied, but oh, cheeky pass, forehand is complete. Oh, that looks like a stall out is being called with the hand signal, the pat of the head. So this is going to be interesting here. Be a conversation between number 13 Iooka from Japan and 87 Clara Chow.
Very interesting. You don't see many stall outs in Beach Ultimate, especially at this level. There's a lot of space on this field with only 5 players.
I have a feeling it's going to go back, so the stall count, if this is a contested stall out, it's going to be at 8. So this is going to be a quick decision for Iooka if she's going to send it. My guess she is. I don't think she's going to have enough time to dump it behind her teammate. And same play, bobbled through her fingers, but able to secure it. For Japan's 8-point.
Ball is in Singapore's court here. Their O-line has been amazing all game long. Wouldn't be surprised if they just stick with their same game plan. Try to get this final point.
Interesting to see how Japan sets up shop as far as defense. Again, they can still mount a comeback. It's a point gap of who raised to 12. So Japan has all the time in the world to mount that comeback to see. But it's going to be tough. They have to be near perfect for Japan to mount that comeback. See what's the defense they have.
Ooh, nice flick pull there from Japan. But Singapore starting quick.
Looks like they're, oh, cheeky pass from Fo to break that diving defense from Japan. And she goes upline, she gets it back. Quick movement, the pattern is moving from Fo, as I witnessed from yesterday's game. Look, just quickly dump it, doing the lateral cuts, and going back again. Oh, she's keeping doing it. Oh, cheeky pass, but just too far for her teammate to swipe the bid. This is Japan's chance. Oh, Japan with a bid of their own. That was Yahata. Yahata sends it, but looks like too fast for her teammate.
Japan just not able to secure a break in this game. Not able to close the gap and put some pressure on Singapore.
And it looks like the pass didn't go in at all. So that's gonna be costly for Japan. Not just with the turnover, but where this is going to start. So imagine Japan needs to tighten up the mark here. Here we go. Let's see if Singapore can finish this off. Oh, great pass to the middle. Fo quickly makes an upline, but decides to go back to the dump. Fo looking. Oh, great forehand pass, and she gets it back again quickly. Right near the end zone, they're able to finish it off. Singapore comes out of top, winning it, giving them the second win in this tournament.
Number 28 for Singapore, making an MVP for the tournament bid. Going nearly every other there on that last throw. Throwing it and getting it right back, and finally pushing it in for the score. Singapore winning, toppling the top seed Japan in dominant fashion, winning this one 12-8.
And 12, dominant fashion indeed. So this team is out to make a point as far as getting gold in their division. So we'll be looking out for this team to see But stay tuned as we'll have this next game. Again, as Tucker said, it will be between the Philippines national mixed team, Boracay Pirates, against top second seed, India. We'll be back live from Shirahama Beach.